In the wake of the fall of Islamic State, families in Syria and Iraq are attempting to rebuild their lives. The Kurdish-speaking Yazidi minority in northern Iraq has been among the worst hit, with thousands killed and thousands more kidnapped to serve the terrorists. Now, only half of them have returned. Those that did come back were at the mercy of smugglers charging vast amounts. Other families paid ransoms directly to ISIL terrorists, who increasingly relied on that income as other sources of funding collapsed. RT's Murat Gazdiev spoke with one woman held hostage by the militants. He also talked to a mother forced to buy back her daughter from Islamic State. These are their stories.
It takes either great bravery or great desperation to act in the chaos of battle. When the jets came for ISIS, Samia acted.
They had locked the door, but I broke the window and got out that way. I ran for a day and a night.
Where did you run from?
Deir ez-Zor. A local family who were not with ISIL took me in. They hid me. They told me where the Kurdish forces were.
Samia and her family were captured by ISIS back in 2014. She escaped barely 2 weeks ago.
I was pregnant, but I was so terrified that I lost my child. My husband and my family were captured. I was left alone with my mother, so I took poison. I decided it was better to die. When they caught me, I thought that since my family, my husband, and my house were gone, it would be better to die.
She was a slave, made to work in the factories, do menial work, beaten for any offense. And then
the men would offer us as gifts. In the evenings, they would get together and trade the women and have their fun with us.
She now lives with her mother near Dahouk, northern Iraq, home to many displaced Yazidis and returned ones, far from rape, beatings and humiliation, but there's no escape from the memories. This photo was taken 3 years ago. The Renzis, another happy Yazidi family from northwest Iraq. All of them, but the mother, were killed or captured as they fled from ISIS. All but 2 are dead or missing.
It was indescribable for me. Life turned into endless suffering, tears, and hunger. I couldn't do anything but cry.
For years, she lived in pain and torment. It was a freak phone call that changed her life. Someone had recognized her daughter.
Someone contacted my relatives and told them that they had found a photo of a girl on Facebook. They asked if it was my child, and they recognized her. The seller was in Turkey, but said he would deliver her to Baghdad. We paid over $10,000.
Ines seems happy, if a little hyperactive, and boisterous, and impatient, and entirely adorable. Try as we might, we couldn't get her to talk, though her mother says that she has trouble getting her to be quiet. She was 5 when she was taken by ISIS, 9 when she was returned.
She didn't recognize me at first, and I cried a lot about that. Later she told me that she was upset that I was crying the whole time.
They both saved each other. Their reunion and ones like it give hope to thousands of people. Hope that one day they'll be able to get their missing families and loved ones back before it's too late. Murat Gazdiev, RT, from Dahouk, Iraq.
Estimates vary, but according to Kurdish officials, over 6,000 Yazidis were abducted by ISIL in 2014 alone. Half of them remain missing. We spoke to a number of experts who believe not enough is being done to improve the situation, either by Iraq or internationally.
This community have suffered so much throughout this genocide. 3 years have passed. The community is still vastly displaced in the refugee camps. The women who brought back from captivity are not taken care of, and those who are still in captivity are still there, and there has been no international effort whatsoever to look into the Yazidi plight. What we feel that the Yazidi genocide is still ongoing, and the international community hasn't done much to repeal this genocide.
In the process of the battles against ISIS, of course, thousands of civilians were killed, and among them surely also Yazidis that were being held prisoners by ISIS. But what you have not seen is any serious efforts by the Kurdish or Baghdad government to ensure that Yazidi victims get their day in court and get justice for what has been done to them.
Well, on Friday, we will air the story of one girl kidnapped by ISIL when she was just 15. That was almost 3 years ago, but only now has she managed to return home. For the first video of her arrival and her tragic story under the caliphate, you can watch this channel on Friday.